today we're going to talk about writing and solving equations. We've already talked about the difference between expressions and equations, but just a reminder, equations have the equal sign in them. Expressions do not. So, you need to keep that in mind as we go through. So, if we look at the problem, is 148 a solution of the equation x divided by 4 equals 37? Our first step is we need to substitute 148 in for x in our equation. Okay, so we've done that here. Now, if you notice, I now have an equal sign with a question mark over it. Okay, we need to write the question mark over the equal sign because we are asking ourselves, does 148 divided by 4 equal 37? So we have to determine whether or not that is true. So, step 2, we then have to evaluate. We're going to solve it. 148 divided by 4, so we wrote it out here, and it equals 37. Step 3, we're then going to compare the two expressions on either side of the equation. In a true equation, the expressions on both sides of the equal sign have the same value. So, since we already figured out that 148 divided by 4 equals 37, we can now look at both sides. We have 37 equals 37, so that means that this equation is a true equation, that they are equal on both sides. So 148 is a solution to the equation x divided by 4 equals 37. Another problem that we have is here. Are any of the following numbers a solution of the equation 35 equals y minus 16? And then our following numbers are 19, 21, 41, and 51. So, to figure this out, we start with step 1. We're going to substitute in our first number. So it's 19, and we're going to substitute it in for y. So we have the problem 35 equals y minus 16. I substitute in the 19. Then we can solve. We can simplify. We're going to simplify the right side. So 19 minus 16 equals 3. Once again, if you notice, I have the equal sign with the question mark, which means, does 35 equal 3? Then we can look. 35 does not equal 3. An equal sign with the slash means it does not. So 35 does not equal 3, so 19 is not a solution. Step 2, we're doing the same thing, only we're substituting in our next number. So we're substituting 21 this time. So here's my original equation. Here's where I substituted in 21. So now we have to simplify the right side. 21 minus 16 gives us 5. So does 35 equal 5? No, it does not. So 35 does not equal 5. 21 is also not a solution. Step 3, we're substituting our third number in. So this time we're substituting 41. Here's our original equation. Here's where we're substituting in 41. So now we need to simplify the right side of the equation. So we have 35 equals 25. So we have to find out, does 35 equal 25? And it does not. 35 does not equal 25. So 41 is also not a solution. And then our fourth step is we're substituting in 51, our fourth number. So here's our original equation. Here's where we're substituting in. So now we need to simplify 51 minus 16, which gives us 35. So we have to see, does 35 equal 35? Yes, it does equal 35. So the equation is true. 51 is a solution to the equation 35 equals y minus 16. Now it's your turn. You try it. So, here's your problem. Are any of the following numbers a solution of the equation 35 equals y plus 16? And you're given the numbers 19, 21, and 41. So follow your steps and figure out which one is the solution. Okay, now we're going to flip it around and we're going to learn how to write these equations. So, if you're given the problem, Logan has 28 model cars. His grandparents give him some more model cars. Now he has 31 model cars. How many model cars did his grandparents give him? Step 1, we're going to choose a variable. So we're going to let C for cars equal the number of model cars Logan's grandparents gave him. Step 2, we're going to write an equation. Okay? So he starts with 28 cars. He's going to add how many cars his grandma and grandparents gave him. So that's C. And then he ended up with 31. So that equals 31. So our equation is 28 plus C equals 31. Step 3, to solve an addition equation, we have to use our inverse operations. That means the opposite. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. They are inverse operations because they undo each other. So we can find the value of C by subtracting 28 from both sides. This way we get C by itself on one side and the value of C on the other. So we have 28, I'm subtracting 28 from it, plus C, and then on this side we have 31 and I'm subtracting 28 from here. When I simplify that, 28 minus 28 gives me 0, so I'm left with C, and 31 minus 28 gives me 3. So step 4, now we have to check our equation. So since 3 is equal to C, we're going to substitute that 3 in for C. 28 plus C equals 31. Here I've substituted in. So we're asking, does 28 plus 3 equal 31? Got our question mark above it. Then we have to simplify. So 28 plus 3 is 31. I have 31 on both sides. So that means that this equation is true, the solution is 3, and Logan's grandparents gave him 3 cars. Once again, your turn. So this time you're going to write an equation for the following problem. Deanne worked 25 hours this week. That was 3 hours less than she worked last week. How many hours did she work last week?